Good morning, everyone, and so excited to have my new friend, Dr. Dave Ramsey. And I've been following Dave Ramsey for a long time, the other guy.
Yeah,
That's
he's
a
wealth,
really,
I'm health.
yeah, that I think you're going to really soon be famous for both. So I think we all have heard the term being healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I think that's what we have is a program that helps us do all of those things and the joy of sharing it with other people. And we've got something really powerful that you and Toni have put together. And let's kick this off here. And let me share just a thought here. I like this idea, the Avini Life Unleashed. And specifically, we've got something that is going to be called the protocol, thanks to you guys, the Avini Health, a 3-month Avini Life protocol for optimal health. And so that's my little contribution right there. And I guess you have some stuff that Doug Dickey has helped you put together with. And I'm really excited because, having a recipe to follow, a protocol, if you will, to take what we've got, which is absolutely amazing. One of my very, very favorite things, and probably all of us are doing this, is this idea that the Google test. If you think of anything bad that you don't want, name the disease. There's a myriad of them, but if you think simplistically that all of those things are simply malfunctioning cells, I think everybody would agree that that's what it is. And the different names are just describing different malfunctions of cells in particular body systems or organ or whatever. But if all of those cells were working properly, there would be no dis-ease. And so how do you have healthy cells? You give them everything they need, but equally critical, don't give them what they don't need. And that's where Vini does something so elegantly, so efficiently, wonderfully with Cell Defender, because if all of your cells were healthy, again, you could not be sick. And so giving your cells everything they need, which a lot of companies are addressing that, but we do it so exquisitely well with Cell Defender. But then we've got some other really cool stuff that get rid of the things that our bodies don't need, like pathogens and other things. But also, we've got some really sophisticated nutritional products that have ingredients that we might be missing, even with an optimal diet. And then education, telling people, and this is just a really awakening that some of the things that we've been told are actually some of the worst things. But I'm going to turn it over to you guys and talk about this plan that you've been sharing with your patients and getting extraordinary results. But I think we could just move that, and everybody ought to be using Avini, and ought to be using the protocol to reboot your body and just reset everything. So I'll turn it over to you guys.
All
Toni,
right.
you want to introduce Dr. Dave Ramsey?
I would love that very much. Thank you so much, Dave Johnson. So, in Avini, our mission is clear. It's so important. We know our mission and so grateful for that mission to help everyone have clean, healthy cells because a cleaner, healthy body fixes itself, as we know. And we're looking for others to link arms with us. And oftentimes most often, we would really love to link arms with the professionals who are on the front lines. And through a very dear mutual friend, I've been introduced to Dr. David Ramsey. And like you, I thought, oh, financial guy. But really, his mission is clear. And what I love about this word mission is sometimes you find someone who's looking for you, not just we're looking for them. Dr. Dave was actually looking for us. His mission is clear. And so we do have some information to go over. We'll share the documentation with you, but I think first it's important to hear from Dr. Dave himself. He is a naturopath. He owns and operates oh my goodness, help. I'll let him in
Functional
this.
Medicine Center.
Thank you. Thank you.
Functional
And
Medicine Center.
thank you. Yeah. I have a picture of it. It's great. He's in front of it with his daughter. So these are the moments when you hope your prayers are answered, that you find your words. But back to Dr. Dave, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. And can you please share your mission, your story, why Avini seems to work for you, but really your background story is amazing and it's going to impact so many people.
Thank you. Yeah, Tony. So it's pretty exciting. I can't wait to see what the results are going to be. Already we're hearing some really good reports coming in and just having a couple of them so far because we just launched this new protocol through Avini products. It's been, I believe, 2.5 to 3 weeks ago. And already we're hearing really amazing things. So I will kind of tell you what my plan is as we unfold this. And we're really going to know a lot of things in about 2.5 months from now. So a little bit of background on me. I was a mainstream chiropractor for many, many years, but I always, since I was very, very young, had a real keen interest in nutrition. I was a very weird kid. What kid, real young has an interest in that kind of subject? So it started a long time ago, and I've always studied from the time I was, well, I would say in my early 20s, I started studying nutrition. And so that was always a big part of my practice. And as time has gone on over the decades, I see people's health deteriorating more and more and more. And I have a model that I use to describe to every new patient what are the main 3 factors of all chronic conditions. And it's 3 things. It's stress, which affects the adrenal glands and the whole endocrine system, the immune system, the brain. The adrenal glands are key for so many things. And yet the medical field pays zero attention to the adrenal glands. It's the most bizarre thing. And I think it's because there's not a drug for the adrenal glands. And that's why it gets neglected. I don't know. That's my thought, but I just don't think that they learn about the adrenal glands in medical school. So number 2 is deficiencies. We are severely deficient. There's plenty of evidence I see all the time with a new patient and through their process of getting them to return to an optimum state of health. It's clear that they are literally malnourished. So, and then the third one is toxicity. And man alive, I mean, I've always been aware of toxicity, but reading Rick Dyke's book on the invisible killers, oh my gosh, it's like, oh my gosh, we're being poisoned to death in our world. There's so many types of toxins. So I like to break it down with patients. And I always talk about these 3 things with every new patient's first visit. And then I also want to explain that there's lots of different types of toxins. There's chemical toxins, there's environmental toxins, there's toxins from personal care products. We are just overloaded with toxins. Heavy metals is big, getting huge. I'm going to tell you something really interesting and show you evidence of that in a few minutes that will just be mind-blowing. And then there's biotoxins. Biotoxins, that covers everything from viruses, bacteria, mold, candida. Everybody is full of biotoxin these days. Now, the patients that come to me, it's really rare when they only have one simple problem. They may think that they have one problem when they call. That's typical. We screen them to see if we're a good fit for them. And a lot of them will say, I need help with my hormones, for example. That's a common one, especially in women. But it doesn't take long through our first initial conversation to find out they have way more than just hormones going on. Their digestive system is a mess. Their immune system is a mess. Inflammation. I mean, it almost like you have to coax it out of them. And honestly, by the time I finish my first visit with a patient, and I'll try to briefly share what I do for a new patient, we want to really, what I tell people is, in functional medicine, if you're a really good practitioner, if you had a lot of experience, many years of clinical experience, education, I've been doing it for 20 years now, and I'm still learning. I constantly learn. You have to stay on top of things all the time because there's new things coming out and things are changing. Years ago, when I started my functional medicine training, which was many, many years, and then with different instructors, but one of the first things that they said was that our society, and this was, like I say, 20 years ago, one of the first things that was said by my first instructor was, we are in a tidal wave of illness. And oh my gosh, that wave is like 10 times higher now. It's changed so drastically, especially in the last few years since COVID. I am seeing more challenging patients. I've never had this many people calling to get appointments. A lot of that comes from social media, because now there's an awareness of functional medicine. Before, there was not. If you said that word, most of the people this 20 years ago had never heard that word before, functional medicine, and maybe a few of them heard of it, but they didn't know what it was. Okay, so there's a real need for this now, and people are, I have to be careful what I say here, but what I tell people is it's not being handled properly. And I tell people that most of my business comes from the medical field, not from referrals, but from things that they get wrong. And I always tell people, read a document called Death by Medicine. You can get it online. Hopefully you can. I haven't looked it up yet, and that's all I'll say. Death by Medicine. But people are having awareness now like they've never had before with social media influencers, and they're saying, go to a functional medicine doctor if you really want to be healthy. Okay.
And you are a functional medicine doctor.
Thank God. I mean, God led me to this whole thing. Like I said, I had an interest from the time I was young in this, but man, the things I learned, I mean, I thought I knew a lot about nutrition, but when I started my training and education in functional medicine, it was just a whole new world that opened up. And so that's what people are seeking now. They're not healthy and they're deteriorating over and over and over again. So what I do in my first visit is I tell people that you really need to be a good detective, a health detective. So it's like solving a crime, solving a murder scene where a detective will come in and they're looking for clues. And that is, a real good functional medicine doctor will be cognizant of that and want to do everything possible to uncover contributing factors, going back to their childhood even. I have an extensive consultation with a patient, and I have them fill out several questionnaires, because I want to look at all the things that have added up in their life as contributing factors to where they are now with their current state of health. And honestly, I would say that it's at least 95% of the people that come to me are very chronic condition patients. And they don't just have one problem, like I mentioned earlier. So you have to address all these things, and you have to be very thorough in your diagnostics. So over the years, I've been learning a lot about a lot of diagnostics that are so helpful. And one of the things we're seeing a lot of, and I'm going to show you some examples of this. Hopefully you'll be able to see it on the screen. But one of the things that I'm looking for now, because it's so prevalent, is looking for levels of toxic heavy metals. And that is becoming epidemic, especially aluminum. So this might be a good time to show you a couple of some of my patients' test results. What I use for this is the gold standard used to be, and I don't know if it still is in certain circles in functional medicine, but there is a urine test that you can use for heavy metals. That's what I started with years ago. But I found that it was not accurate, because to find heavy metals in the urine, you have to use what's called a provocative agent. And I had a patient not too long ago who had that test done years ago, and she wanted me to redo it for her. But the provocative agent is either DMSA or EDTA, are the two most common ones. Well, I didn't realize this, but you have to have a medical degree. I'm not an MD. So I wasn't able to get this prescription for that provocative agent. anyway, I don't want to dwell on this, but I just feel like I will summarize by saying that it's not very accurate to test heavy metals in the urine, in my opinion. This has been my opinion based on the fact that these provocative agents, which are taken before the patient collects their sample of the urine, well, they're not necessarily very efficient at pulling the heavy metals out properly. So you don't get a real accurate assessment of their heavy metals. That's just my opinion. There's probably people who would argue against that, but that's been my experience. So then I found out through some other classes and training that the best way to test for heavy metals is hair analysis. So I started that years ago, and I found that the labs that I was using back then, I think I used one or two labs, and it was just not consistent. And I didn't think it was very accurate at all. So then I took a class, and then another practitioner also told me there was two different sources that said you need to go with analytical research labs. They're the best. And if you look online, functional medicine oriented doctors, holistic doctors, a lot of them will tell you that analytical research labs is the most accurate, and they're really fantastic. I've used them for years now, and I trust in them 100%. So hair analysis shows mineral levels. It also shows heavy metals. And it also shows ratios of two different minerals together, which predicts what systems in the body are affected or what conditions. Like, for example, two of the minerals in ratio show how you're breaking down protein. Another shows you how dysfunctional your thyroid is. Another shows the dysfunction of your adrenal. So it's just so much good information from this. But what I want to show you is, I could show you about maybe 100 of them that I've been doing since over the past year. And every single patient has been high in aluminum. And then the next highest is mercury. So you ready to look at these?
Sure.
Okay. Are you ready to share your screen?
Okay. I was just going to hold it up to the camera. Do you think that'll work?
Dave, or do you have it on your computer?
Oh, no, it's just, I'm going to show you the actual
okay.
thing. Yeah,
Okay.
the patient's names are blocked out, obviously. I'll just tell you a little bit about each one of these patients here. Okay,
Well,
so you see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see. This is going to be
No,
weird.
we can see.
Okay, there is aluminum right there. You see that column?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so this shows lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic. And this is typical. Aluminum is always the highest, followed by mercury. So even one bar, you see the bars there? So you see one bar for mercury.
Several for aluminum. Yes.
So even one bar is too much. You don't want to have
Okay.
even one bar show up. So there's one. Now this person is female, 23, has major chronic issues, reoccurring infections. She's a college student. And her mom also got tested too. Her mom is having some issues that she didn't have before. But the daughter is way worse. Higher aluminum and chronic conditions, immunity compromise, really horrible compromised immune system. So she keeps getting infections over and over again. Okay, I'll try to get through this fast here. Here's another one. Let's see.
Oh my goodness. Look at that one.
High bar of
Wow.
aluminum. Now this patient, female, she's 72, and she had Hashimoto's. I see epidemic levels of Hashimoto's these days. The thyroid is getting really damaged. And one thing that is common with all autoimmune conditions that the medical field doesn't get is that there's a hidden infection in the body. We call them stealth pathogens. They may be obvious, but they're usually hidden. It could be reoccurring UTIs, reoccurring sinus infections. But a lot of these pathogens are coming from the mouth. And this is something that I was made aware of just the last couple of years since I've been in Oklahoma, that so many of hidden infections, stealth pathogens, are coming from either bad tooth or periodontal tissue. So now we're testing the bacteria. Two holistic dentists in town here helped me find out about this and suggested I start doing this on a lot of my patients. And so we're seeing a high percentage of people who have oral pathogens, periodontal tissue, periodontal disease, whatever you want to call it. That has to be addressed. So with Jordan, my daughter, my assistant in Avini, we have added the, nano silver gel. And we're having those patients who show the oral pathogens to brush their teeth with it. And I have some other things they can do too. I give them a list of things, but you cannot cure autoimmune diseases without getting to the hidden infections. And the medical field says there's no cure for autoimmune diseases.
So, doctor, do you mind if I kind of because honestly, you've got a stack of your patients. And when you and I first spoke, I was overwhelmed with, you had said the numbers of people that are coming in to see you are overwhelming and they're all in agony. They're all in crisis.
Yes.
They're all in crisis. And you probably have a stack of those tests right next to you. And and our thought was to come together with a protocol, because you certainly have been doing things for all your career. And where I'm trying to bring this all together is the mission just seemed to match. That we want to be a tool with Avini to align with what you are already doing. And because the purpose, I was hoping that our presentation today is that for professionals such as yourself to have Avini in the toolbox, that in addition to what you already know, all the information you already have and the stacks of data and tools that you currently have, to have this to align with, not to conflict with, but to align with, so that those of us in Avini can approach people such as yourself and bring a tool that's in alignment and come together and work in that mission. Is that?
Yeah, that's right. And I would be happy to talk to any of us in Avini who would love to approach their healthcare provider, holistic doctor, or anybody that they go to that is open. And I would be happy to give them my opinion about it. And, you know, as time goes on, I'm going to have more and more testimonials. So what led me back to Avini, because I investigated a year ago, and I'm typically a skeptical person. And it's like, well, I need results. I need proof, blah, blah, blah. Just sorry, but it's just the way I am. I'm very skeptical. But I was searching for people who were damaged from COVID. Okay. And I learned about the spike protein, that there was a test, there was a blood test for antibodies for the spike protein. So I started testing my patients, and I saw a real wide variety of antibody levels. So the lowest, let me just read from one of my, so a person to be considered safe with the spike protein, they should be below 0.8. Okay, so keep that figure in mind. I started testing patients and I was shocked. It was so disturbing how high almost everybody's spike protein antibody was. So the lowest I tested was a patient that was 300. And then here's just one. Now this patient is...
And we'll keep those private.
No, yeah, the names are blocked out for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't show these. Okay, can you see the spike protein? It's right there. It says 17,000. Are you able to see that? You see 17,000? Okay. The lowest was 300. The highest was 27,000. And that patient was really damaged. So I thought, man alive, what can I do to fix these people? So there's a couple of experts in the field, we'll call it the post-COVID world. And I don't know. Do you want me to name them? I mean,
No, it's just, yeah.
okay. But they're very well known now in that world. And I did their protocol. I put it out there. I said, and I put it together for the patients. This was just using Fullscript and well-known supplement companies, including Standard Process Labs, which I've been using for many, many years. But it was very expensive, really, really expensive. It was like $2,700 for a 3-month protocol, and a lot of things that they had to take. So I only had one volunteer of a patient that had high spike protein antibodies. So they did half the protocol because that was about all they could afford. So she was very diligent. She was on it for 3 months. And after 3 months, we did the spike protein antibody test again. And not only was it not better, it was worse. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
So that was
Wow.
disturbing, so disturbing for me. I thought, oh my gosh. So then I remember I said, well, I think I better check out Avini again. Because the only thing that experience I had with Avini was an amazing result with nano silver. On myself, I had an upper respiratory infection, which I normally get it eradicated between 1 and 2 days just with home remedies and things. Well, it was hanging on and hanging on. So I put the nano silver in a neti pot along with the salt saline solution powder. And the next day, it was like gone. Unbelievable. Now, my daughter-in-law has had a long history of reoccurring sinus infections. I mean, years, for many, many years. And she'd get several sinus infections every year and have to take antibiotics, unfortunately. So I told her about nanosilver, gave her a bottle. Within 2 days, she was completely healed. So that's what led me back to, hey, if they have such an amazing product in just this one thing that we tried, I need to be open to their other products, Cell Defender, the whole thing. That's what got me back into it. And then I called you, hadn't talked to you for a while, and you really were helpful. And I said, we got to do something about these chronic conditions because they're not getting better. They're not getting better with experts, the
Right.
expert advice that.
Do you mind if I bring everybody into the picture of our transition? So we met right after Boca Raton. We were able to come together, and actually I visited your lovely home, and your lovely wife made dinner for us. It was great. And I met your daughter, who is your office manager, Jordan. The point, so again, our watchers can and gain benefit from our talk, is that you have a mission and you're looking to create a consortium along with provide solutions for your patients who are suffering. And so together we created a 3-month protocol, which would actually save your patients money compared to
That's
what
right.
was
Oh my gosh,
offered
yeah.
before. And
That's right.
even with this, and we will show it, I have, if that's okay, I'd like to show it. All right, I'm going to share my screen. And okay, and I'd like everybody to see, here is this, and I love your description of this. This is called the Stealth Passionate Pathogens and Heavy Metals Removal Protocol. And this is what you are sharing with your clients, your patients, on a 3-month basis. And they are wonderful. They are following your 3-month recommendation and purchasing everything up front for 3 months, which for those who are building their practice and building their Avini business, this is a huge piece, but also these are very deliberate and very intense dosages, frequencies. Again, we're not prescribing, we're not, those of us who are not doctors, we're not prescribing, we're not intending to heal. We're making the disclaimer, we always make that, but we're sharing how often you're showing your patients to use. And thank you for being so generous to allow us to share this.
Oh, of course.
So, and also, you had the opportunity to have this meeting with Rick Deitch. Was
Mhm.
that helpful for you? Was that
Yeah.
helpful for you?
That's the amazing thing about Avini. The people that are involved are so helpful. I've never seen anything like this. Rick Deitch, Doug Dickey, Chip Littlejohn. I mean, we've talked several times and they're so available. It's pretty amazing. You are always available. I mean, I appreciate all that you do to help us. I mean, we're all in this together, and it's amazing. I'm sure you all know this, but the market that we have as people involved in this company, a sick world. We are in such a sick world. Everybody needs these products. It's amazing. And they're so unique. They're not like anything else out there that exists. So,
And would you mind if I would help our audience see one of the documents that we have in our back office well, it's not our back office, forgive me. AviniHealthTraining.com is actually line 292. So if you'll give me 1 second to go into mine, I just want to share with you. This is a document made to share with professionals. So I do want to see if I can get it on my, oh, let's see here. There we go. We'll get rid of this one. And this is the healthcare professionals packet, everyone. This was made and created by our Vice President of Sales, Doug Dickey, who helped us so that we can take your documentation and in a professional manner approach persons like Dr. Dave Ramsey. And it works for all who have alignment with those in need for their wellness. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're exercise therapists, dentists, massage therapists, physical therapy, mental health, energetic workers. And I just want to share with you, it unthreateningly offers these individuals that we seek to help join the mission. It shows them that they need not be threatened by our company, because if they're concerned that it has the stigma of MLM or MLM, we can show them how this aligns, and because they are professionals, we can help them get set up in a very professional manner. And so I just wanted to help bring that together, because you did introduce myself and our company to other practitioners in your area that you're hoping to have you join in this mission.
oh yeah. Yeah, one's really excited. She's a naturopath and a physical therapist, and she's really an awesome practitioner, does a lot of good things for people, but she's like me. She's looking for solutions to these chronically ill patients, and she's very excited to join. She's going to be joining, I think, Monday. So, and then she does live blood cell analysis, and we're going to start doing that, adding that to our diagnostics.
Right.
Because, seeing results, seeing proof, whether lab testing or in the blood cells, it's going to be huge. But symptom-wise now, that's obviously powerful. I mean, it's subjective as opposed to objective, but I really believe in, like one of my patients. Can I just share what happened with my first patient that went on the program?
Please
Okay.
do.
Well, I love hearing positive results symptom-wise. And only 2 weeks into her protocol, we contacted one of the patients to go over her hair analysis. And while we were doing that, she said, I just need to tell you, she said, and she's in her 70s, long list of health issues. She said, in just 2 weeks, I've lost 8 pounds, didn't change anything about her eating, 8 pounds. She sleeps through the night now. It totally got rid of her severe addiction to sugar. The cravings went away, and her blood pressure went down. 4 amazing things just in 2 weeks of being on this protocol.
Incredible.
Amazing.
Incredible.
I cannot wait to see what is going to continue to happen. And then if you want, this might be a good opportunity to talk about Brooke, the 82-year-old. It's
Oh,
up.
yes, please. And people, can I introduce about Brooke? Everyone, if you're
Yes.
familiar with a lovely Brooke Peterson, born with respiratory challenges to begin with, was excited, heard through the grapevine. There was a frequency of use through Dr. Dave Ramsey. She sought him out to learn it, and Dr. Dave.
You probably know more about her than I do, because when she was describing, she was so excited when she was talking, and I couldn't write down everything she was saying. So I said, Brooke, please send your testimony. People need to hear this story. It is amazing. So she was born prematurely, if I remember everything, had really chronic lung issues, CPOD, all these years. She's 82. And the one part I'm sketchy about is when she almost died. I want to get the details about that. She was in the hospital and she only had literally minutes to live. And was it that someone brought her Avini
Dr.
product?
Donna. Dr. Donna brought her.
Oh, and that was in the hospital?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Brought
Yeah.
her cell defender. Brought her cell defender, and she came out of her situation. Yeah.
Totally
What
on the
an
brink
angel.
of death. Yeah. So but she has suffered still, but saved her life. She was way better than before, but she still was really struggling with a lot of lung problems. So she found out about our protocol through your friend in Florida, and I can't remember her name.
Diane Chasik.
Yeah. Okay. So she called me, this is about 2 weeks ago, I think, 1 or 2 weeks ago. And she said, I just need to tell you that your protocol has changed my life. And I said, well, it's not just me. I mean, yeah, we had a team putting this together, but tell me about it. And she said, my lungs feel like they're completely normal. She said, for the first time in years, first time in her whole life. I don't know, but it was just, she said, I feel like I have so much energy. It's like I've come to life again. And she started crying, telling her story. I said, Brooke, got me choked up. I said, Brooke, you got to write your testimony. I cannot wait to get this from you. So let's make sure she gets that to us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I am so excited that you are a part of our team and that our journey is in progress. We're actually in the process of helping others and we're reaching out. And I'm just so grateful for your openness, your receptivity. Your daughter is amazing, everybody. Jordan Escalante is Dr. Ramsey's daughter and also office manager. And so she's helping coordinate what we call patient portals. That's a term we're coining to help you so that when you're approaching medical professionals, and again, if they have an aversion to how we market our program, let them know that they can create patient portals that are handled in office. And the last page of the professionals packet not only has the protocol that particular practitioner can write out the protocols, whatever they see fit for their client, but also the information for their own back office and password. And the patient can decide if they access it themselves or if the office does it for them for reorders. So this is crucial. All right. So just wanting to share that as that this be helpful for everyone because this is a huge journey. And we're going to be very, very careful with our languaging because only Dr. Ramsey gets to say what he's saying. But we know we have amazing products with Avini. And Dave Johnson, do you think that this is helpful to our team the company as a whole? Do you find this beneficial?
Oh, absolutely. You've got my wheels spinning, and I'm just thinking, oh my goodness. And just to add on what you're saying, most of us are not practitioners and we don't treat, we don't prescribe, we don't have access to a lot of the lab stuff and things like that. But the thing I love about these products is really, they're not approved by the FDA. We can't make claims and all of that sort of things. But But along that line, I was just looking at something, Dr. Reg McDaniels, he says it so well. He says, there's no representation or claim that more comprehensive nutrition, proven powerful, can diagnose, treat, or ameliorate a disease or syndrome or correct an abnormal health condition. Optimal nutrition only supports normal health. Well, we want to be extra normal, but I believe we can. And normal is starting to become sick and fat and broke. And we don't want to be that normal American. We've got some really wonderful things. And just to add on to Rick, a healthy, clean body fixes itself. And I guess just one other thought, that before I got into Avini, I would do the Google test with inflammation. And all of us know that everything bad is a root of inflammation. And so you look up anything bad that you don't want to have, type inflammation, and that's the mother of all bad things. But wouldn't you know, if you type in inflammation and heavy metals, the first thing that comes up is there as an alarming correlation with heavy metals and inflammation. So we've got something really important. I'm just so excited.
Yes. And Dave, thank you for telling me about this book. I just got it.
That's so good. Yeah, we are in the age of aluminum. Throughout all our recorded time, it's just this last century that all of a sudden we have biologically free aluminum, and it's busy. It loves everything, and our body does not love it. But it's active, and we've got some answers.
My gosh, yes. Yeah, everybody has it now. Like, I would be shocked if I did testing and found a patient that didn't have it.
Yeah, just like mercury, the ideal amount is none.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Well,
pretty exciting.
Well, Dave, thank you for having both Daves. We've got a consortium of Daves. We've got, if you know a Dave, bring them to the team. By the way,
or a Toni.
Bring every Dave you know.
Yeah.
That's, and Dave, Johnson, do you mind if I just share that I don't know who I got it from. I don't know, or if it just came down. I'm not beating around the bush anymore. I invite people right away. I need you to join our mission. I need you to join my team. I need you to be a part of Avini. And they're saying, but I just asked for a loaf of bread. Just, I was in their way. We just need to get to the point. We really do, because if they are interested, they'll let us know. If they're not interested at this time, they'll let us know. But either way, we've made it known that we want them to be a part of our mission, and we do it with love, and we do it with open arms. And we're so excited that Dave Ramsey, your heart is huge. And by the way, he's super talented. That's a whole nother topic. This man is a great performer. Ask him to do Neil Diamond. Ask him to do Elvis Presley.
I don't think I can hit Elvis's notes anymore, but I can still do Neil Diamond.
There you go. So, I mean, we just are full of talented people across our company, and we're just really happy that you're a part of us. And Dave Johnson, we're just happy that we're a part with you and everyone here at Avini.
Okay. Thank you for all you do, Toni.
Thanks, everyone. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. So give everybody the opportunity to say yes or no. So let them decide, not you decide for them. That's for sure.
Good.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.